would say that when it came to for the most part, I dated mostly in my race. And so when it came to dating outside the race, the first thing that I noticed is that usually when someone that's not the same race as you does like you, it winds up tending to be fairly obvious. Even though ours is different, but it's fairly obvious.
That's what you said, yeah.
Yeah, but it was different with us.
Okay.
But for the most part, with someone that doesn't look like you is really into you, it's usually kind of obvious.
How so?
Like, hey, how are you doing?
Like they're touching you and stuff.
Touching you, they're in your face.
Like Kenny, my best friend, reached across a table of people to her white husband and said, "I like white people," and grabbed him.
And they've been getting together ever since. Mm-hmm. See?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fairly obvious, right? I would say that the only problem I really had when it came to and I told you this, when it was, I'd go on the Bumble dates with white women. Excuse me. The thing is my profile picture had like 3 or 4 distinct pictures. One was me in a suit, right? The next one was me flexing at the beach.
Yeah.
One says I can dress well, and the other says I work out. I think the third one was actually of a woman that she's in New Jersey. She's like there's something Amazon, but she's picking me up at a comic book convention, and she's dressed up as Wonder Woman. I'm just wearing a t-shirt and jeans and doing the fainting pose, right? So the problem that I would have is if you swipe and would connect with white women, it'd be like, well, I would never bring up comics at all. I'll just show you that I was at one. They'd be like, oh my God, you're in a comic? I loved Black Panther.
Wait for it.
Yeah. They just let sit there and marinate.
Connection?
Yeah. They'd be like, I just loved Black Panther, but so amazing. And I'm just like, I had to look. I'm like, where did I didn't wear I'm not wearing a Black Panther pendant. I didn't say anything like, used to bury me like my ancestors who jumped off the boats because they thought death was better than death on honor. Stab. Oh, that's in the movie. A man said, Killmonger, I can save you. You have been stabbed through the abdomen, but I can take you back to Wakanda and we can save you. He was like, no, bury me with the ancestors that jumped off the boat in the ocean because they thought death was better than being a slave forever, and stabs himself further and then he dies.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So they would be like, they were like, I just loved that thing when Killmonger said that. And I was like, okay, unmatched. No, I tried it one time and then she stood me up. I'm like, how are your teeth yellow as my shirt and you're going to stand me up?
Oh, honey.
What? What? I could probably, like, you know what? You probably smell like patchouli. Blessings to you, though. Next. It's okay. I wasn't bitter. Just a little bit upset.
I feel like you were.
Like, no, I have a fucked up intention and say you can't meet me someplace for brunch, of all things. Anyway. So I would say that for the most part, that was the main struggle I had. It wasn't so much it's a whole either fetishized thing. It was they would assume things that I would like based on a hobby that I had.
Okay.
That they had to assume was right because I'm Black.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, it does.
It does. Uh-huh. I was going to say, what was your experience? I know the first part. You told me a funny story about when you went over to your friend's house and you came back the next day and your mom was like, oh.
Yeah, but that's not dating. So,
but it goes. The thing is that we would have to figure out sometimes, like when me and my guys would be around, be like, hey, if you have a date with someone that doesn't look like you, we would be like, okay, why are you dating Black? We got to figure that out. Like, are you trying to taste the rainbow? You know, do you feel guilty for something, for a privilege, or what? And I said, when you would tell me the story you told me about you going to your friend's house, I was like, oh, you're gonna be fine. Okay. This will work. Like, so why don't you explain?
So growing up, a lot of times, no matter where I went, my friend circle tended to be predominantly Black, or Hispanic, depending on what area of the country it was in. But, you know, I was in elementary school and my friends It was like 3 sisters, maybe 2 sisters and a cousin. But anyways, I went and stayed the night over with them, and they wanted to do my hair.
They're all black.
And they're black, and they were so excited, and they greased my head and did all sorts of things that do not sit well with white girl hair. And my mom was like, "Oh, honey, yeah, you can't put those products in your hair." And I was like, "Oh, okay," but they just wanted to do my hair, and that's how they knew how to do it. And then, of course, growing, as my best friend and I talk about, like, if one of us is gone and we have to take care of the other's child, things like that. Like, my best friend did, like, teach me certain things that I guess would be cultural in a sense, like taking care of a black girl's hair and things like that.
Beauty and maintenance.
Yeah, like I'm terrible at braiding, but I could do it.
You grease a scalp?
Yes.
I don't know how to grease a scalp. Shout out to Shio for learning to grease a scalp, because I ain't gonna do it.
Yeah, but as far as like dating, I think some of the stereotypes that I would have to combat is probably one, that white girls are willing to do anything. Not true.
Got standards over
there. There are limits. There are boundaries.
There are, believe me. I told her I lost my virginity when I was 25, but she's like, "Why didn't you lose it earlier? Why don't you try to hit some of the white girls earlier?" I was like, "I did, but that'd be like the week they'd be like, I don't suck dick anymore. I found the Lord." I was like, "You just suck Chris's dick at youth group."
Oh, honey, you were just unlucky.
Did you find him? Did you find the Lord before or after?
Like, can we take a break and find the Lord?
Right. I really need to get something taken care of here.
Oh my God. Well, that, and then I guess as I got older, because I was thicker, even in high school, as athletic as I was, a lot of people assumed that I only dated black men. And actually, my ex-husband was so insecure that I might have had sexual relations with a black man. And I was just like, why is that a thing? I don't understand. But so yeah, those. And then I will add this one, which I don't think I told you about, but because I have dated many people that don't look like me, in different religions and stuff like that. I was always pretty much expected to take on the culture or views of the other person. So that's interesting, right?
Mm-hmm. For me, was it more of like taking on the cultural thing or the religious thing that was the harder one for you?
Sometimes it's both, right? Some religious, like if you date someone who is a Muslim, my experience has been like, although they're like, yeah, it's okay, you're not, you have to be very careful with, they probably might already have somebody else they're betrothed to. Or they say one thing and mean another. And then culturally, I will say, like, not all black people are the same. I'm going to use that as my example, right? And some people think that just because I'm a white girl and I'm thick, it don't matter how hood they are, I'm going to be down for the cause. And I'm not down for the cause.
Yeah. Why don't you explain that further? You told me what that was.
Well, that's the one example I gave you. I was on a dating site, and the guy, very handsome man, Cuban black man, and went on a date, seemed cool, but then he's like, I'm in a biker gang and this is my life, this is what I do, which I appreciate him being very upfront about. Mm-hmm. But no, if I would have stayed a bartender and waitress, and I was still like didn't finish school, I would have been down for the cause. But now that my life has progressed and I
say you have a future,
I have a future. I mean, like illegal things could impact my career. I choose to stay away from that. I mean, I've even had a white guy actually who was a weed dealer. I knew him from school. He wanted to date me so bad, but that was his life, and I was like, if you get busted or whatever, like I'm roped into that.
I don't got bail money.
I'm not about it. So
yeah, I would say the one thing people got right about me is, did you grow up in the suburbs? Yes. Do you know what the hood is like? Generally not. What happens if something pops off near you? I call the police.
He calls the police. I don't do that.
I call the police. What you talking about? Like, it was them, officer. I'm that guy.